Hi everyone, and welcome to this quick video that looks at the use of children's and young adult literature in our classrooms. Specifically, this video addresses two questions. First, how can we use children's and YA literature to enhance intercultural and global competence? And secondly, how can the thoughtful integration of these types of books and stories support anti-racism education? Over the past 25 years, there's been a steady shift in student demographics in U.S. public schools. Not only have Hispanic and Asian populations increased, but the percentage of white students has steadily decreased during this time. As of 2019, approximately 32% of all U.S. public school students attended schools where at least 75% of the total enrollment was from students of color. Of the 50 million school-age students enrolled in U.S. K-12 public schools, it's projected that by the year 2030, students who have typically been categorized as minorities in the past will make up nearly 60% of the students in our classrooms. So what does this mean for teachers? It means that classrooms are no longer filled with mainly white students who come from Euro-ethnic backgrounds, who all speak English as their native language, and who all celebrate the 4th of July and Thanksgiving. It means our classes are filled with students who might physically look different, who may wear different clothing or eat different foods and celebrate different holidays, who may even think and learn differently than what we're used to. It's becoming increasingly important that if we aim to reach all our students, we have to make sure our instruction supports the development and continued learning of global competence. One way we can address this issue is through the use of children's and young adult literature. Stories that include people from outside our own culture provide a window into new and different worlds, worlds that build understanding and awareness of others, while also providing opportunities for students to make connections and identify similarities. Sharing stories that represent a wide range of people and cultures exposes our students to different ways of thinking, feeling, and acting, essentially different ways of living that may be completely new to them. These stories help students find commonalities between different cultures that can then be explored in greater detail. Celebrations such as birthdays and holidays, common feelings that all people have like joy or sadness, common themes such as family, friendships, justice, or fairness can also be explored and discussed. Sharing stories that center upon those who are different from us can also reduce the notion of othering, or thinking and acting toward those who are different as if they're a threat or as if they're inferior. So now that you have a better understanding of how using children's and adolescent literature can support global competence, the big question is, how do we actually do this? How can we include literature in our daily lessons and activities so that it's meaningful and engaging to our students? There are several things to consider as you get started. Although it may seem obvious, you'll want to make sure you get to know your students. Find out where their families are from, what languages they might speak at home, what their favorite foods are, what holidays they celebrate, and what their hobbies are. This can be done through simple one-on-one conversations, through class discussions, or even through short questionnaires that are done online or shared with families. You'll also want to look at the overall dynamics of your school and local community. What cultural groups are represented and what types of issues are common for these groups? What issues occur in the local community that might affect the students or staff at your school? You'll also want to identify the teachers, administrators, and support staff who work at your school. You'll also want to reflect and take stock of your own cultural background. As you do this, think about your experiences, practices, and beliefs. Consider how you might incorporate these with your use of literature, and how sharing parts of who you are can provide examples for your students to follow. Thinking about your students' background, the dynamics of your school, and your own personal experiences can help guide you so that you choose the most relevant and meaningful stories. In the next few slides, we'll look at some ideas of how you can incorporate children's books and adolescent literature into a range of subjects. You'll also see some suggestions on how to craft purposeful questions, as well as use visible thinking routines, both of which can provide opportunities for students to engage with the books you read and critically think about and analyze the deeper meanings they contain. We'll wrap up the presentation with a quick overview of how you can use the resources you have right on hand to help you pull all of this together. One of the easiest ways for teachers to use children's or adolescent literature is through read-alouds. We often think of doing this during language arts or social studies instruction, but these types of books can be used in a range of subjects. Elementary teachers may want to include children's literature during their morning meetings. Art and music teachers at any grade level can include short read-alouds that provide additional background and deeper meaning to the concepts introduced in their classes. High school teachers can use excerpts from adolescent literature in a variety of classes as well, including history, environmental studies, literature, and economics. Regardless of what subject or grade you teach, you should carefully craft purposeful and meaningful questions to facilitate partner, small group, or even whole class discussions. These discussions should ask students to think deeply, to justify and explain their thinking, and to possibly reevaluate their current beliefs. Discussion questions should be planned out ahead of time to ensure that students are thinking critically, that they're being reflective and examining what they may already think about the particular topic. If the idea of crafting the perfect discussion question sounds daunting, don't worry. Harvard University's School of Education has put together a toolbox of visible thinking routines that can help you. These routines are a great way to help students consider alternative viewpoints and perspectives, to create empathy, and to deepen awareness and understanding of the given topic. These routines are extremely versatile and can be used in any grade level and in any subject area, including students as young as 4 or 5 years old, or even with your own teaching staff. Lastly, as you get started on this journey, make sure you include members of your immediate school community, including your librarian, your students' parents or extended family, and any other local members of the community. Your school librarian can help you locate titles that will best fit with your classroom and school populations. Ask students if they have books or stories from their home countries that they can bring in and share. And find out if there are members of your community who have books or even oral stories that they can come in and share with the class. So what are you waiting for? Talk to your teaching partner or team, look through your own classroom and school libraries, and figure out some small ways you can start to use the power of children's and adolescent literature to promote anti-racism instruction and support global competence in your own classroom.